Hi all, it's JK here. Getting pissed on Saturday night because I've had a very stressful day with my EP3. Hope you've had a better day than me. But basically, what should have been an easy set of tasks, one we've covered yesterday in the video, how to adjust your headlamps. That went wrong because my tools couldn't quite fit in the hole because, for one, on the battery side, I've got the aircon pipe in the way and the battery in the way, and when I finally could navigate around all that, I needed a shorter screwdriver, so that went wrong. So I had to walk away from that. And obviously the third party headlamp, well, I can forget that. It's the adjuster's facing the panel, and no way can I get a screwdriver in there. There's like a piece of metal obstructing me. So either I take the whole bonnet, front of the front bumper off, and which I'm not going to do because frankly it's 2 or 3 hour job when you don't know what you're doing, which I don't. I've never done it before. Then you'd have to actually adjust the lights, which how are you going to do that? So I'm taking it into Honda, probably going for their coffee and tea and whatever and biscuits. Secondly, was to try and sort this cunt out here, this rare bulb, license plate bulb. Yes, I know it's all in the manual how to do it, all that bollocks, but what this doesn't take in consideration is, what if the rare bulb, license plate bulb, isn't in its fitting properly? Now, what you can't tell by the picture is, because it's a bit cloudy, is that bulb is not sat properly in its fitting. It's actually at probably a 30 degree or 20 degree angle, I don't know what it is, but it's at an angle where if you do as the manual suggests, you push this cap to the right, it pops out, obviously, yep. Although in this case it didn't, it sort of went, gave in straight away. So straight away I knew then there was going to be a problem. I thought that felt too easy. Then I'd have gone the left one. This is the right one. Then I'd have gone the left one, won't even move. I put loads of effort in, really fucking pushed it in. Bear in mind I weight train, so I'm a strong guy, you know, I'm benching 110 at the minute, so it wouldn't move. It would not fucking move. So, if you remember a few videos ago, I mentioned that my car got stolen, my Land Cruiser did, and it had my spare EP3 key and fob in it. And obviously I had to call someone out to get the locks done. Why didn't I get it done at Honda? Because Honda couldn't do the job until February. Can you believe that? February. So here I am with a Civic Type R, you know, with a key with some idiot that's nicked my Land Cruiser riding around joyriding or ripping ATMs out of the wall or whatever they do. And he's thinking, oh, nice one, we've got a fucking Type R key as well, we'll go back for that bastard. So I had to use the short term, get a third party guy to do it. And he came the next morning, so, you know, I couldn't take the risk. Anyway, I was sat with him most of the day. As I say, with my work, and I went out because this guy owed me money, a lot of money. I've been on holiday and this guy owed me about £1,000, so I went to collect it. Been gone about 2-3 hours because we had a coffee as well. Came back, my mum and dad were saying, we spent ages doing the rear lock, and I thought nothing of it. Thought, well, you know, what do I know about removing trim from a Type R? Nothing, never done it and never should do it because it's not a problem. But I reckon it's because of him this problem's happened. So basically what's happened is I've got a left bulb that won't come out, the filler won't come out no matter how much effort you put in, and I've got this bulb where it comes out easier than a prostitute opens her legs. And when you try and pull it out, not only won't it come out, but it hardly goes back in either. It jams. And I hurt myself. I hurt my finger doing this bastard job. So I sat thinking about it and I thought, I couldn't see what the problem was. I just thought I was being an idiot. So I googled it and I tried to look for videos on YouTube, whatever. And everyone says the same thing. Are you thick? It's in the book. Just do what the book says. It's simple as easy as 1, 2, 3. Anyway, I came back after I calmed down because I lost my temper, obviously. And I noticed it was at an angle. I thought, the fitting's at an angle. I thought, motherfucker, that's what the problem is. I looked at the left one was straight. But the right one was at an angle. So, right, okay, we'll have to get the trim off, which I've never done before. So this video is also going to cover that. Meanwhile, it starts pissing it down with rain. So that I'm happy. You can tell I'm really happy by now. So I take the car and I park it into my sheds and I start removing the trim. But before I do that, I took a picture of what trim needs removing just for your benefit. Basically, 4 pieces of trim need to be removed. The trim and in this order as well. The trim underneath the rear brake light, there she is in all her beautiful glory. Then the trims on the left and right of the arms there, and then finally the piece of trim for the bottom half of the boot. The bottom half of the boot, now as you can see there, yeah, my 2 screws are missing. I haven't touched it yet. That's that wanker fucking cowboy locksmith that's done that. He's obviously got in a rush. He's thought, right, fuck it, let's hurry up, get to the next job. And what he's done is he's not bothered putting the 2 bolts back in, but those 2 need removing. And then the handle where you shut the boot, there's a nut in there, a screw in there as well, which needs unscrewing. So you take those 3 out, and then you're ready to play. So I took the car into the sheds because it started fucking pissing it down. I'm not even joking. And began doing the disassemblement of my trim. So when you take off the trim of the rear brake, that's what you see. You see it's connected to the wiring. No idea why. It's probably to keep it compacted. I don't know. I don't know much about this area. It's something I'm going to look into now. I've had to delve into it. But there's no screws or anything there. All you do is you literally just pull it off as hard as you can. It's held on by these white things here, these clip things. They're what's holding it in, and they go into those holes there. So, and I think there's only 2 by the looks of it for this one, that one and the very right one there. And all you do is get I'm not even joking, you have to really yank it up. You could probably the best thing to do is put your hand against the glass, depending on how strong you are, and then just pry it off as slow as you can, which is what I did, and use your strength to pry it off, because it'll fly off. It will all of a sudden just give. Don't worry about snapping it, which is what I was worried about, because it's tough as old nails, that. So then what you're left with is the casing there, as I just told you. So you've got the white thing there that clips in, and the white thing out of shot. That might be it, actually. No, it's not. It's out of shot, but the other one over there somewhere, and they clip into those 2 holes. So that's the first piece of trim removed. Then you do the arms, like I said, the left and the right. I did the left first and the right, but it doesn't matter which way you do. They're all the same. If you recall, I mentioned in my first video that I don't do oil changes, and I've got a lawnmower that's 20 years old, never had an oil change, and there she is. British brand, Caltex, never had an oil or filter change, and she's still ticking over today. But anyway, back to the point. So yeah, you take off the trim, the left and the right first, and then it gives us the boot, the lower boot trim. So you take that off, as I said earlier, 3 screws, and then it's the same as the others, where you give it a real good yank. And I mean, don't be scared to do it. That's the main thing. Are you going to damage it? That's what was holding me back. But you don't. You just go for it. Try and do it steady if you can. Like I say, lean yourself, and then just try and pry it off rather than yanking it off, because then you might cause damage. I don't know. And there's the boot trim when it's off. So 1, 2, 3. It's got 3 or 4 pieces of those white clipping things, and then it's got the 3 screws. So it's insecure. Right, so that's the hard bit. Then what you'll be faced with is obviously the naked bottom half of the boot, which is not the prettiest thing in the world, but there you go. That's what you can expect. Now, it's probably good to give an inspection as well, because obviously with a Time File that's not doing much mileage, I'm sure I'm not the only one doing this. If you leave it in the garage, you've got the fear of rats and mice gnawing away at your cabling, and that can be very expensive if they do that. So it's probably a good idea to do, I don't know, maybe not, but you know, once in a while, if you do find your car stood a while, or you're out the country a lot, which I am, then to, you know, check the wiring. So as you can see there, my wiring's immaculate. So, but I have had, if you look at my engine bay, there's been a nest in there, and that was from when it was brand new. I've done 3,000 miles first year, and that's because I worked at Morrison's part time while I was at uni, and my 05 Type R got keyed. So I started parking this car in the garage and then busting it to work. Never did find out who did it, but best believe I would have sorted them out. But anyway, wiring's immaculate. Which brings us to the bulb. So there's your bulb. There she is, sitting there, nice, happy and dumb, not knowing any different. And you can't tell, but it is actually incorrect. So what I did next is, because it was quite a feat of how to get the bulb out, you know, after the filler was off. So basically what I did was I just clipped that there. I wore a pair of gloves and just unclipped it. It's in a bit stiff. And then that gives us this next picture, which is that. So there it is. There's the fitting to the bulb unconnected, the wiring. So now that means that the bulb and the cap are completely separate from the electronics. So if you really are pissed off and you really do want to take it out on it, you can really fucking get in there. And there we go. What that means is, what I did first was I had to push the fitting against the body, I think, and then I pushed the cap to the right as the book suggests, and then they both fell off, and then it falls into your hands like that. And that's the bulb. That's the bulb that needs replacing. That's my shiny, healthy fingernail, and there you go. There's your filler cap. And I put the cap back on just to show you guys what the problem was. So if I maximise that and zoom in, there you go. It was literally in that angle. So that was flush against the body, as you expect, but it wasn't even securely hit. It was in and it was keeping moisture out, luckily, pure luck, but you literally flicked it and it came off. And but then as you tried to move the cap out, because that's out, obviously, what's that, 5mm? It's just not going anywhere. And you think, oh my God, I've got to take it to Honda or whatever and spend 2 or 3 hours of labour just to find out. To take that job to Honda, you're probably looking at least 300 quid, maybe 250, 300 quid, at least. So that was down to the guy working on my locks. He somehow knocked it. Now, he's caused another problem as well, which I'm going to go over in a second. But if I escape that and then hit next, there I go. I finally, all that effort just to put a bulb in. Can you believe that? Then I had to focus on getting it back in. That was quite hard as well. So what I did was I feed it in there. There's the bulb and the fitting. I feed it in, back on. But from what I remember, the fitting is supposed to be able to come out through that hole, and probably 1 inch or 2 inches, so that you can pull it out. It's dangling, and you replace the bulb and put the cap back on. Correct me if I'm wrong. This is the other problem I'm telling you about. I think what the key guy did, for some reason, he shortened my cable, the cabling. Literally, what you see there is, when it's flush against the hole, it won't go any further. It's simple as that. It won't go any further. So, as it stands, the way my cabling is laid out, if I want to change my license plate bulbs, I'm going to have to keep doing this. So, what I've done is, I've left the trim off. I'm going to Alfred's tomorrow to get 2 new bulbs, because that's actually a front side lamp bulb. So believe it or not, that bulb, although it's a different length, it's the same fitting. So the bulb you're seeing there is actually for the front headlamps, and it's the little spot lamp at the top right. You know, you've got your high beam, your dip, and then the little lamp, and obviously indicator. That's what that is. It's one of them bulbs. So I need to take that out and then replace it with a proper bulb. Tail light bulb. But I managed to get the cap back on now, and it's perfect. It's all good. But the fact is, the bulb wouldn't come out because the fitting went at an angle, and I blame the key guy. Maybe it wasn't him, but like I said to you, if it wasn't him that did that problem, if it was me when I changed the bulb years ago and I didn't do it properly, putting it back, he's certainly caused this problem where the fitting now won't come out of this hole. It won't come out of this hole and dangle out, so you can change the bulb, put the new bulb back in, put the cap back on, clip it in, and then clip it into this hole, back in that hole, and then slide it left where it locks. So for some reason he shorted the wiring. So what I'm going to do is just alter I noticed the wiring is stuck to the body of the car with a bit of aluminum and a bit of glue, I think. So I'll just pick that off and then move it, so it gives me enough. Yeah, I don't want to do this every time. So yeah, that's been my day. I found out that the key guy has fucked up my rear lights on my license plate. I then had to take all the trim off, which I've showed you. I then had to change the bulb and disconnect it all, and change the bulb, reconnect it all. And then I found out that through this hole here, where usually you unclip the cap, pull it all out, and it gives you an inch or two to play with, to take the cap off, then take the bulb off, and then put a new bulb on, put the cap back on, and slide it back in. I can't do that. It literally won't budge past that point, the fitting won't. So that's a problem I've got to solve. So if ever you do get that problem where literally you buy a Type R and the bulb won't come out no matter what you try, it should come out. You pop it to the left with a bit of effort and it should slide out, and you should be able to then unclip the clap from the fitting and put a new bulb in. If not, you've got to remove all the trim and do it the way I've just showed you. Nice. Anyway, that's my how-to video / rant. It's Saturday night, I'm going to carry on drinking, so have a good weekend, and another video coming soon.